Hey everybody, excuse my condition. I just woke up and I'm about to jump in the shower, but I just had to post about this while I'm discovering it. Um, I'm constantly making posts about basically the most obvious conspiracies, and that's really the reason why I post. It's not so much trying to educate the world on all the conspiracies because there's just too much power against us. Like, I really don't think there's anything we can do in the long run. But it just surprises me how out in the open they are, and how just everything in this country is a scam. Everything. You scratch the surface of any corporation, any government, anything, you're gonna find a conspiracy. And I'll just give you a prime example. I just had to get my car fixed, and basically, what happened was I was driving down the highway. It drops down to about 3,500 RPM. Check engine light comes on. It goes into what is called limp home safe mode. And basically, it's what your engine does whenever it's about to go into catastrophic failure. And basically prevents that catastrophic failure, which is a good thing because it allows you to get the mechanic and all that. But the bad part of that is that any defects or flaws or basically outright fraud that car company pulled is going to be more covered up by the fact that those parts aren't going to be allowed to go out as they normally would, because this limp mode is going to stop them each time and basically force you to stop your car and basically give that part a break. And that's essentially what happened to me. Then after I get to the dealership for the fourth time for a similar issue, having to pay several $100s out of my own pocket, already knowing about the recalls because I have the Ford Pass app and everything. I basically was just wondering how, a car company gets sued by 1.7 million of their customers that they ripped off, loses the lawsuit. In the lawsuit, it's proven that, and this is all what I've discovered about just getting my car fixed, just from Ford. The company I've bought cars from my entire life. I've dealt with this one dealership my entire life. My grandfather bought cars from this dealership. We thought we could trust them. We thought it was our friendly, local, everyday, car dealership. Well, after reading up on this lawsuit and how it was proven that not only did Ford lie and put totally a different transmission in the vehicles than they claimed in the advertisements and then set to cover it up, but they actually got the dealerships to be complicit in it and cover it up and lie to their customers too. And the reason being is because such a massive recall, 2 million cars, would have bankrupted every one of these car dealerships. So basically, they effectively at gunpoint forced these dealerships, your local dealerships, to be complicit. And I thought to myself, surely, man, not my home dealership, man, not the one that for 3 generations we've been giving them business. My grandpa bought a car every year. Surely not them. So I ran my Carfax report on my car that I've had since 2014. Because one of the complaints was that one way that, because they're now forced to reimburse people on any damages they have to pay out of their own pocket to fix and all that. And keep in mind that it has to be a Ford dealer who determines whether or not this extended warranty, because that's just how corrupt our courts are. Rather than call for full recall, they just did an extended warranty of 100,000 miles or 5 years. Well, the problem is with this limp mode, it almost guarantees that part's not going to go out within 100,000 miles. So it's just a totally bullshit cause, ending or whatever. They basically set a parameter that they knew that nobody's car was going to break down at. So again, surely not my dealership, So I go into Carfax and type in my VIN number. Every piece of maintenance my dealership has ever done on my car. Keep in mind, I had to have it towed there 4 times last year alone. Every piece of maintenance is listed as routine maintenance. And one thing you notice about their works program, where you used to take it into the dealership, and all the way up until 2017 when they lost this lawsuit. And it took 8 years for them to lose, even though it was the most obvious complicit criminal action I've ever seen from a car company. Basically, where was that? What they were doing is they were listing all of everyone's repairs as routine maintenance. That way that they couldn't send in their receipts and get reimbursed. Okay, so sure enough, from 2014 when I bought this car all the way till now, according to my Carfax record, my car has never broke down one time, and everything is just routine maintenance. And apparently last year alone, I took my car in for an oil change 5 times in 1 year, which makes no damn sense. And their works program used to entail fluid, battery check, everything like that, and it used to entail a transmission check. In 2017, I noticed, because on my Carfax report it showed each one of the routine maintenance, transmission was just conveniently taken off of that, of the things that they check whenever you go in for the works. They just literally removed it from the header. So basically now they can claim that basically they don't check for transmission. So oops, our bad. We didn't know this part that's gone out in every other vehicle that we've ever produced in this model. So apparently, according to my Carfax report, I have the one and only Ford Focus that has had no fault problems or anything out of the most recalled car in history. So now my car is at this dealership. I'm not real sure what to do, because I already know what they're going to do. They're just going to reset the sensor, charge me a couple $100 to hook it up, the $150 inspection fee. That's going to be $300, $400, $500 or more out of my own pocket for like the 5th time. And my transmission is not going to be fixed. It is slowly going to go out. And here in about a year, I'm going to have full engine shutdown, if not within like 6 months. And it's going to blow my engine, and I'm going to be left with a totally worthless car and no way to purchase another one anywhere near close to its quality. So that's basically where it's at. Ford Motor Company ripped off if you bought a Ford Focus or a Ford Fiesta, you were ripped off. They have already lost the lawsuit. I even went to the lawsuit webpage, and it's literally so many people that all you have to do is just fill out this form, send in your receipt, and they'll send you a check. But there again, how are you supposed to do that when every bit of your maintenance on the Ford schedule or Ford list or whatever is listed as routine maintenance? So now the only thing I can do is take them to court, pay thousands of dollars for a lawyer, and basically join this lawsuit, and then basically sue my dealership and sue them. In which case my car is still not being fixed, and if I couldn't afford a $4,000 to $5,000 car just from this one breaking down, I definitely can't afford a $10,000 lawyer to sue them in court. So that's basically where I'm stuck now, where most Americans find themselves in these situations, is totally screwed. With the law not being there to help, the people you thought you could trust, and the organization set up to supposedly have your back totally working against you. And basically, here in about 6 months, I'm going to probably lose my job and basically end up right back out on the street after 5 years sober, being a veteran. I literally ate lunch with the president's wife at one point, Michelle Obama. Was in Army intelligence for 10 years, all that. But I live in a town that's 89% like poverty stricken, typical middle class town. It's just full of drugged out zombies walking up and down the street. We have murders every other day. The jail won't even take prisoners. It's basically your typical liberal nightmare. They don't even pull over for DWI or lawsuit, no insurance or anything like that in my state, because the jail won't even take the people. You basically got to be an axe murderer to be accepted by our jail. And the only thing that's stopping me from becoming like the rest of these methed out junkies that have totally given up is my job and my car and my ability to financially grow and do better in life, which is my motivation for staying off drugs, and has been for 5 years. I've lost all my family members to drugs, my brother, sister, dad, all my friends. I currently got one friend that's missing right now, who's been missing for 3.5 weeks, named Miranda Maronil, who was the epitome of strength, was off drugs for 5 years. Same situation, basically got screwed by some financial institution that basically made it to where it was impossible for them to maintain their bills. They gradually went under, and next thing you know, fuck it, might as well get back on dope. And now, 2.5 weeks after getting back on dope, she has totally been missing now for almost a month. They don't know if they killed herself or she was murdered or what, but she's dead. There's no way after a month. And this is just typical. I mean, in this country, the poor are just left with no means, and they just say screw it and get on drugs. That's why drugs are so prevalent in this world country right now. Is because the system's so set up against you that you're going to find yourself in a situation where there's just no hope. No matter what you try, there's some rich dude stealing from you. No matter what you do, you're screwed. You know, and I hate to put it like that, but seriously, like, I see why so many people just literally go buy a log cabin in Colorado and stay off the grid or in Alaska, because this system is set up against you. It really is. Like, there is no way that you can have the middle class home with the white picket fence and the 2.5 kids and the dog and all. You can't have that in America nowadays. There is no way that you're going to get that, go from like trailer park to that, no matter how hard you work in this country, without somebody hitting your income in between. It's just impossible. So effectively, like, there's just no hope in this country. There really isn't. Poverty is going to keep getting worse. Unemployment is going to keep getting worse. That 2% is going to keep taking all the money. And basically all the news channels and everything that they now own are going to keep saying that we're all just a bunch of militant nut jobs, and anybody who fights against these people are just treasonous. And basically, we're going to fall like a country, like every other country before us that was massively corrupt. Just like Rome and, Athens and Sparta, I just hope we don't end up like Sparta, where our enemies get so pissed off at us in the long run that they literally just destroy our city. In the words of Tacitus, they created a desert and called it peace. One of my favorite sayings in history. Basically, the Romans, because they were tired of dealing with the Carthaginians, basically waited for Hannibal to attack their lands, and did a side attack into his country and literally destroyed his city. Destroyed Sparta from the ground up. The Romans even had a way of melting stone. I don't know, historians still haven't been able to figure it out, but they literally wiped this city of over 1 million people out overnight. And like I said, that Tacitus, the Greek philosopher, Roman philosopher, actually wrote about the Romans, telling the Romans that you created a desert and called it peace. That's what they're doing with America. They're creating a desert and calling it prosperity. So, just wanted to throw this story out there, how just a simple car breakdown has led into a multi-billion-dollar conspiracy by the most trusted car company in American history, who had the greatest service record in the Ford Taurus out of any car, had the greatest reputation, everything, just gave it all up to be able to rip off 2 million other customers. I can't get it. It's not even good business practice. I mean, I know I'll never buy another Ford. I'll walk before I buy another Ford again. I know that much.